legends of men transforming into animals are a universal myth throughout human history, showing us the duality within ourselves, conflict between our higher nature and our worst animal instincts. Mythology and psychiatry share the same word to define this transformation, lycanthropy, from the Greek words meaning wolfman. In clinical psychology, a lycanthrope is a psychopath who believes he becomes a beast, a maniac who defiles corpses, murders, and devours human flesh. In myth, the lycanthrope undergoes a physical change, becoming half man, half beast, a werewolf. True tales of children raised by animals in the wild, such as recounted in Kipling's The Jungle Book, reinforced the link between man and wolf. And the rare medical condition of hypertrichosis, hair covering the entire body, added to the myth that some people were closer to animal than human. The actor who became the screen's most sympathetic, most famous lycanthrope was born Creighton Tull Cheney in 1906. His father, Lon Chaney, was a reclusive vaudeville dancer and stage manager who made his mark in silent movies with grotesque character parts. But he forbade his son to become an actor. When young Creighton picked up part-time work as a movie extra, Chaney packed him off to a distant business college. After Chaney died in 1930, his son entered show business in bit parts, stunt work, anything to make ends meet. Though he had resisted it for several years, Creighton gave in to pressure and adopted the name Lon Chaney Jr. In 1939, Chaney auditioned for Quasimodo in the RKO remake of one of his father's greatest successes. But despite his attempts, Charles Laughton won the role. But the same year, he tested for the role of Lenny, the retarded giant in Of Mice and Men. This led to a character role in 1 million BC.
My own makeup, but for 1 million BC, but due to unionism, I couldn't use it. And when you put something on yourself, you can tell whether it tickles or whether it hurts. But if somebody else like me has to put up with the unionism of today, so you just go on hurt.
Universal signed Chaney to a 5-year contract and played up the connection to his famous father in Man-Made Monster. The studio revived Frankenstein's monster in 1939 and The Mummy in 1940. Screenwriter Kurt Siodmak created a new monster myth.
Even a man who's pure at heart and says his prayers by night may become a wolf when the wolfbane blooms and the moon is full and bright.
That ancient gypsy rhyme, repeated throughout the series, was in fact invented by Siodmak. According to the script, a werewolf can only be killed by a silver weapon, since silver had long been associated with the moon. Makeup chief Jack Pierce revived a design originally created for Werewolf of London, with fangs, a rubber snout, and yak hair covering Chaney's hands, feet, and face, applied in increasing doses as Chaney transformed into his bestial alter ego.
Jugular. That's the way Johnny Williams was killed? Yes. Find something? Animal tracks.
Whoever is bitten by a werewolf and lives becomes a werewolf himself.
Oh, quit handing me that. You're just wasting your time.
The wolf bit you, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, he did. You wouldn't want to run away with a murderer, would you?
Oh, Larry, you're not. You know you're not.
I killed Baylor. I killed Richardson. If I stay around here much longer, you can't tell who's gonna be next.
23-year-old Evelyn Ankers played Chaney's on-screen love interest. Off-screen, there was no love lost between them. Chaney referred to her as Evelyn Shankers, and at a studio party, he smeared pistachio ice cream on the Navy uniform of Ankers' husband, actor Richard Denning. The werewolf who attacks Larry Talbot was actually played by a studio German Shepherd. Chaney and the dog adopted each other, and the dog always recognized him no matter what the disguise. The studio dropped Junior from Chaney's name as he played a succession of roles originated by other actors: The Mummy, Count Dracula, and Frankenstein's monster, before reviving his own original character. The studio originally envisioned Chaney playing opposite himself, since he had also played the monster in Ghost of Frankenstein. Instead, that role went to Bela Lugosi, who had played the gypsy werewolf who originally bit Lawrence Talbot. Talbot, unable to truly die because of his full moon curse, seeks Dr. Frankenstein's secrets of life and death, but instead finds the monster who once renewed strength for his revenge upon the world. Veteran of the Moscow Art Theater, Madame Maria Uspenskaya, returned as Maleva the Gypsy. Talbot almost gets his release from life, but the full moon rises and the film becomes a knockdown battle of the monsters.
But he doesn't understand. There's a curse upon me. I change into a wolf.
Listen to me, Frank. I saw my father become obsessed by his power. He died a horrible death.
There's no need for us all to storm after her. She'll come in if I ask.
Why should we treat her so fancy? She's a Frankenstein.
In House of Frankenstein, Boris Karloff and J. Carrol Naish played a typical mad doctor and hunchback who revive Count Dracula, then discover the monster frozen again beneath the castle. The Wolfman also thaws out, reverting to his mournful human persona. Now the fatal silver bullet must be fired from the hand of someone who loves him enough to understand. In this case, gypsy girl Elena Verdugo. The plain-spoken Larry Talbot of the original film now spouted stilted dialogue like, "Why have you released me from the ice that imprisoned the beast within me?"
I'm going to repay you for betraying me. I'm going to give that brain of yours a new home in the skull of the Frankenstein monster.
The jugular vein is severed, not cut, but torn apart as though by powerful teeth.
A werewolf. Last night I killed a man.
You didn't know what you were doing.
But I did. I wanted to kill.
I think they're after Dracula.
Shot dead in House of Frankenstein, Talbot inexplicably showed up alive the next year at the House of Dracula, demanding that scientist Onslow Stevens discover a medical cure for lycanthropy. Now sporting a dapper mustache, Lon Chaney once more underwent the transformation at Jack Pierce's hands, but only appeared as the Wolfman in 2 brief segments.
See, before you, a man who lived for centuries, kept alive by the blood of innocent people.
When the full moon rises, I turn into a werewolf, with only one desire: to kill.
I tried to perform the miracle of science and failed. My blood is contaminated with the blood of Dracula.
Though cured at the climax of House of Dracula, Larry Talbot came back in Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. Jack Pierce had been fired by the studio in 1946. This modified Wolfman was the creation of Emile Levine and Jack Keevan.
I know you think I'm crazy, but in a half an hour the moon will rise and I'll turn into a wolf.
You and 20 million other guys.
Count Dracula sleeps in this coffin, but rises every night at sunset. Chick is right. This is awful silly stuff.
Come on, take it all out.
Wow! Look out, Chick! Cover it up! Samantha, cover it! Wait a minute!
The nation's top comics, Abbott and Costello. Petrified, but hilariously. Plus the dangerous and terrifying Wolfman, played by Lon Chaney. Plus that fiend out of a nightmare, the vampire Batman, Count Dracula, played by Bela Lugosi. Plus the most dreaded creature of them all, the Frankenstein monster, played by Glenn Strange. Plus a couple of luscious but designing females in the spookiest laugh fest on record.
Chaney flew to Mexico to guest star in a similar spoof which became known as La Casa del Terror, his penultimate Wolfman. With plot logic typical of south-of-the-border monster movies, he played a werewolf disguised as a mummy. But the Wolfman makeup was a good imitation of Jack Pierce, and the growl was uniquely Chaney.
soy yo.
Parece que nunca has visto.
Screenwriters Gilberto Martinez Solares, Fernando de Fuentes, and Juan Garcia disposed of the cumbersome silver bullets. In this film, the way to kill the Wolfman is to hit him on the head with a hot stick until he passes out. The box office value of the old monsters was renewed in the 1960s with Hammer Films color remakes and the elegant Edgar Allan Poe series from American International in Hollywood. This revival led to Chaney's last Wolfman appearance on a Halloween TV special in 1962.
These three passed out just from looking at me. I think I resent that.
Oh, I wish my grandson Lon was here to see this sight. You know, he was starting to not believe in me no more. But if he saw this sight, he'd have a wonderful time.
Now beat it before somebody comes along.
Oh, yeah.
They took one look at Lon in his makeup, just one look, and they fainted dead away. 100% effective.
Not quite, Peter. Remember, there was that one girl in 1114.
Idiot. Well, the exception proves the rule.
What girl? What exception?
Gentlemen, old monsters, new monsters. What's the difference?
Now, you listen to me. There was this one girl. I was actually alone with her in a room. I was growling for us. You know how I can growl. Well, she treated me like a charity case. She was sorry for me.
I know that girl. I met her tonight. I walked her back to her room. No wonder you couldn't frighten her. She's in love. You've almost convinced me that maybe the old ways are the best after all, that a new wave in horror pictures, the adult horror, so to speak, might be the wrong technique. But we must be sure. Using this girl, Molly Cross, as the ultimate test. If we can frighten her, gentlemen, a woman in love, we can frighten anybody and everybody.
That proves it. The old ghosts are the best after all. And the power of all three of us in one picture. Can you imagine it? Why, it's almost too ghastly to contemplate.
Lon Chaney never reached the heights of stardom that his father attained, but he created at least one screen monster that gave him pride all of his life.
He means they're vampires.
Oh, yes, and werewolves.
Are you a horror film fan, Miss Morse?
Oh, yes, I love it. Dracula, Frankenstein.
And the Mummy?
Oh, the Mummy. I love the Mummy. Oh, and the Wolfman.
There's going to be a full moon tonight.
Predating Lon Chaney by 5 years, the screen's first memorable werewolf came in the wake of Dracula and Frankenstein. Swedish actor Warner Olin, known for roles like Charlie Chan and Fu Manchu, portrayed Dr. Yogami, who attacks an English botanist in the mountains of Tibet and transmits the taint of the werewolf. Valerie Hobson, menaced by Boris Karloff in Bride of Frankenstein, played opposite Henry Hull, who had starred in Universal's version of the Charles Dickens story, Great Expectations. The original makeup concept was similar to the one used on Lon Chaney 5 years later, but Hull objected, and Jack Pierce compromised with a more stylized, less hairy, but no less effective design.
We must seize the only specimen of the Mariposa plant in England. That flower is the only known antidote for werewolfery.
A very interesting folk tale, but of no value to the police.
I warn you, sir, unless you secure this plant, there'll be an epidemic that will turn London into a shambles.
When my experiments are completed, I will show their results to the entire world. Not before.
Remember this, Dr. Glendon. The werewolf instinctively seeks to kill the thing it loves best.
You brought this on me that night in Tibet.
Sorry I can't share this with you.
Werewolf of London never inspired a direct sequel, perhaps because Henry Hull seemed equally unpleasant as the snooty botanist and the hairy monster. With patriotic zeal, George Zucco planned an army of wolfmen in The Mad Monster, a 1942 cheapie from PRC Pictures. Future Frankenstein Glenn Strange played the half-wit handyman injected with wolf's blood. Lon Chaney jokingly accused Strange of copying his character, not the Wolfman, but Lenny in Of Mice and Men.
Are you quite comfortable, Patriot?
Sure, Doc.
You're not afraid?
I ain't got no reason to be afraid.
Yeah, that's right, Patriot. There's nothing to be afraid of.
Nothing at all.
You're aware, of course, that this country is at war. That our armed forces are locked in combat with a savage horde who fight with fanatical fury. Well, that fanatical fury will avail them nothing when I place my new serum at the disposal of the War Department. Just picture, gentlemen, an army of wolfmen. My serum will make it possible to unloose millions of such animal men. Men who are governed by one collective thought, the animal lust to kill without regard to personal safety. Such an army will be invincible, gentlemen.
A decade after Island of Lost Souls, Bela Lugosi traded his dignity for more screen time in The Ape Man, a sleazy Monogram Studios production. Lugosi played a screwball scientist who injected himself with gorilla serum for no discernible reason, slouching through the film looking extremely embarrassed.
You shouldn't have brought her here. Stop shaking, Agatha. I won't hurt you.
Oh, you poor boy.
Open the door. Get back here! What a mess I made of things. Look.
A talking werewolf played second banana to Lugosi in Columbia's Return of the Vampire in 1944. Actor Matt Willis, who physically resembled Lon Chaney, escaped the vampire's evil influence just long enough to drive the usual stake through his heart.
Soul will wander through the night, and you will never find where her body rests.
Nicky, come to me.
That wasn't a man. That was a wolf.
Lugosi's victim was played by Nina Foch, who starred in Columbia's Cry of the Werewolf that same year. Unlike her male contemporaries, this gypsy princess transformed into a real wolf, or at least a studio imitation.
That gypsy girl is evil as I am that I breathe. And I'm afraid.
I shall teach you a new worship, a new religion. Your first sacrifice upon its altar will be the man you love. Since I am forbidden to love him, so shall you be.
Hey, what happened?
Elsa, put that gun down.
Kill him.
A 21-year-old June Lockhart didn't become a wolf at all in Universal's belated attempt at a wolf woman in 1946. Despite heavy fog, ancient family curses, and a gloomy castle left over from House of Dracula, the killer turned out to be a psycho with a garden weeder. Family curses also figured prominently in The Undying Monster, a horror mystery from 20th Century Fox. John Brahm, who directed The Lodger, bathed the film in shadows, keeping the werewolf's identity a mystery until the climax. Closely linked to the werewolf myth is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, the Robert Louis Stevenson story of a scientist who aspires to be wholly good, but finds that his lower self is stronger. Filmed many times in the silent era, the schizophrenic scientist found a voice in 1932. These first transformations were done with red makeup, shot with red filters, which the cameraman then removed, revealing the dark face to the camera. Frederick March became Mr. Hyde at the hands of Wally Westmore, who based the makeup on the prehistoric Neanderthal. A scene-for-scene remake by MGM downplayed the monstrous nature of Mr. Hyde, presenting more of a human beast.
Good and evil are so close as to be chained together in the soul. Man is not truly one, but two. Now, supposing we could break that chain, separate those two selves, free the good in man and let it go on to its higher destiny, and segregate the bad. Let it destroy itself in its own degradation.
Good heavens.
Why, Dr. Jekyll?
Hopelessly insane. This is pure balderdash.
You're dealing with things it would be better not to mention for your own sake. There might be trouble.
For your own sake, Lanyon. Do you want to live on as you have? Or do you want to have your safe peace? Your reason even blasted by a sight that would shock the lowest fiend in the inferno?
Indeed, Spencer Tracy's evil self looked so human that when English author Somerset Maugham visited the movie set, he asked, "Which one is he playing now?" Though Robert Louis Stevenson's schizo-scientist was a bachelor, that didn't stop Columbia Pictures from releasing Son of Dr. Jekyll with Louis Hayward. Despite the title, the film's monster turned out to be the late Dr. Jekyll's trusted friend. The daughter of Dr. Jekyll obviously never met her brother, otherwise she would have known that she wasn't turning into a monster at night. It was another of her father's trusted friends. This film actually established Mr. Hyde as a werewolf, although he drinks blood and is killed with a wooden stake through the heart.
Daughter of Dr. Jekyll, yearning for love and discovering on the eve of her marriage the monstrous inheritance that was her birthright of fear.
Oh, I still shudder when I recall that face. Like some perverted mask of evil out of a legend of horror.
Then you saw him as Hyde?
Once, at the very last, just before the mob caught him. They almost tore him to pieces. The villagers broke into this tomb and drove a stake through his heart.
Daughter of Dr. Jekyll, terrified that she become the disfigured thing that was her father, a vampire drawing sustenance from bestiality. Beauty becomes the terrible attraction for a human werewolf, as ancient tales of witchcraft strike incredibly at the human imagination.
I've got to get a stake and drive it through my heart and bury me beside my father.
Well, do it! Do I have to kill myself? If you love me, please kill me!
At least Abbott and Costello Meet Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde was intentionally zany. Boris Karloff played half of the dual role, with stuntman Eddie Parker playing Mr. Hyde in a beast mask designed by Jack Keevan.
Panic sweeps London from end to end. Even Scotland Yard is baffled. But two men of intrepid daring fight back. It's Abbott and Costello at their hilarious best. Baffling fiction's most fearsome themes in Bud Abbott and Lou Costello meet Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Co-starring Boris Karloff as Robert Louis Stevenson's fabulous double demon.
Mr. Hyde will kill him. Mr. Hyde will kill him.
Bud and Lou are tearing up the town, trapping the beast among a bevy of beauties, adding turmoil to terror in a house of horrors that would frighten even Frankenstein.
Come on, Will! Sweet, catch your master! Give me a hand!
Pay no attention to them, they're drunk.
Science, not the full moon, created the werewolf in 1956. Columbia Pictures makeup man Clay Campbell revised his Return of the Vampire makeup for actor Stephen Rich, who accidentally is transformed by scientists trying to find a cure for radiation poisoning.
Only an animal could do that to a man's throat.
Jack, what are you trying to do? Scare us half to death? What are you holding back?
It wasn't an animal that killed Joe. Same goes for Clovey. It was a man.
So much could fail if he should remember and tell someone what he knows about us. There's nothing else left but to...
You're not going to talk. You think he still wants to live after what he's become?
Duncan! Duncan, darling, this is Helen. Helen. These men have promised not to harm you. Chris? Chris!
He's asleep. Throw some torches up there.
In I Was a Teenage Werewolf, science again creates a beast through drugs and hypnosis. The most outlandish title in monster movie history hides a moody and effective film. Psychiatrist Whit Bissell figured that mankind could only survive the coming atomic war if he could be reverted to a primitive state. An interesting twist on Charles Darwin. Though Michael Landon had done small parts in films and TV before, this was the first role he could really sink his teeth into.
Help me, Doctor, please! I know they're going to catch me, but don't let anyone see me like that. Please, Doctor, help me!
Michael Landon in a powerful performance as the boy possessed. Yvonne Lyon, appealing as the girl who loves him. Whit Bissell, unforgettable as the scientist maddened by the mystery of the werewolf. And Tony Marshall, a tough, friendly enemy.
These the official pictures?
Yes, Chief.
Slash on either side of the throat. You got any theories?
Fangs.
He was killed by a werewolf.
Panic penetrates every home when this strange, unknown killer hits town, taking hold of the teenage crowd, coloring their practical jokes with hysterical humor that'll make you fall flat on your face with horror.
Remember how wonderful it was when you sprang suddenly, dug in with your fangs, a soft throat, the gush of warm blood?
No! Nothing you've ever seen has such blood-chilling savagery. Nothing you've ever conceived packs such a spine-tingling jolt. This high school boy, a teenage werewolf, a constant threat of claw-ripping attack to everyone, to the brave and the beautiful.
The teenage werewolf, but not Michael Landon, reappeared in 1958. Gary Clark played an actor playing the young lycanthrope in a film within a film called Werewolf Meets Frankenstein.
Hidden within each of us is a secret desire to destroy. Each of us would like to be able to become the other being, to know the master makeup artist's magic, how to make a monster.
Broadway stellar performer Robert H. Harris brings to this theater the most terrifying of men, a man whose mind is distorted by hatred.
I'll use the very monsters they mock to bring them to an end. This maniacal strength will linger in your arms and hands. And with it, you'll destroy your real enemies. Exactly as I instruct you.
Monster maker of make-believe land sells his talents to the devil.
I have a great honor to bestow upon you. I intend to add you two to my collection.
You want real heads on your wall?
As real as I can get them.
See the Master Monster Maker's Chamber of Horrors in color.
The Hammer Film Company of Great Britain remade and revived the classic Gothic horror tales in the late 1950s and early 60s. Frankenstein, Dracula, The Mummy. An ornate village had been built for a film they planned about the Spanish Inquisition. But Hammer learned that the Catholic Legion of Decency would condemn such a film. So producer Anthony Hines adapted the Guy Endore novel Werewolf of Paris to use this pre-existing location. Makeup man Roy Ashton patterned this man-beast after the European timber wolf, with silver hair and prominent fangs. Like Michael Landon, Oliver Reed got his first break, playing a lycanthrope.
It came from a land of brutality and evil. It came from terror and fear. The curse of the werewolf that was laid on a baby who grew into a man possessed by a monster. To this Spanish town, the night brought drinking and dancing, music and girls, and the moon. The full moon that turned an innocent man into a savage beast. The curse of the werewolf, a man possessed by a frenzied lust to kill and kill and kill. The curse of the werewolf, a man possessed by a desperate need for love, who found in Christina all the passionate sincerity of youth.
Christina, do you love me? Will you marry me, Christina? You say you love me, will you marry me?
Yes. Yes, I will. Help me! Get away! Get away! Get
Continental production, Lycanthropus, used the whodunit twist. American International gave the film a catchy, more titillating title, Werewolf in a Girl's Dormitory.
Fiendish horror. Unbelievable until you see it with your own horror-stricken eyes.
Since I've been here, I've been trying to capture a wolf to extract his glands.
But tell me, Professor, have you ever experimented on yourself?
The new doctor, suspect, beauties, the prey of fiendish desires. A village up in arms.
Look there! Where? At the top of the stairs! Water! Stop, or I'll shoot!
A Nerorama shocker.
The classic chiller by James Blish became the basis of The Beast Must Die, another Who is the Werewolf mystery film.
When the moon is full, the beast must die.
One of you is a werewolf.
You must track down the werewolf. One of these 8 people is a werewolf. Can you guess which one?
Which one? But 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 which one?
One of these 8 people will turn into a werewolf. Can you guess who it is when we stop the film for the werewolf break? See it, solve it, but don't tell. The beast must die. Rated PG.
A fan of the old Universal monster movies, Jacinto Molina created a werewolf character similar to Lawrence Talbot, the doomed Count Valdemar Daninsky. Starring under the name Paul Naschy, Molina's debut horror film was La Marca del Hombre Lobo, bafflingly retitled Frankenstein's Bloody Terror in America.
If you've seen all the other horror films, this is for you. More horror, more screams, and more fright than your wildest nightmares in Frankenstein's Bloody Terror. An all-new Super Shocker filmed in Chillerama 70mm and gory color. Now meet the wolf monster, a slashing, inhuman creature who prowls by night for new victims. Its terror beyond your most fearsome imagination as vampires, using the powers of witchcraft, summon the hideous wolf monster. Don't miss Frankenstein's Bloody Terror. It's a super shock spectacle of hideous horror in Chillerama 70 and gory color. Rated PG.
The character of the Polish aristocrat appeared in 10 films between 1968 and 1983, co-starring with Dracula, The Mummy, Mr. Hyde, even the abominable snowman. Typical was La Noche de Valpurgis, retitled Werewolf versus the Vampire Woman.
Ghoulish and totally incredible motion picture. The Werewolf versus the Vampire Woman. This is Wandesa, queen of the vampires and Satan's favorite mistress. Werewolves and vampires will reign supreme, and things will happen that have never been seen by human beings. Your blood will boil and your flesh will crawl. No one can escape the vampires, and no one can run from the werewolves. If you can take it, see the most sensational fight to the finish ever filmed. See the werewolf versus the vampire woman.
Equally eclectic was Werewolves on Wheels, which combined souped-up cycles, devil worship, and a few fuzzy faces.
Blood.
Hey, we all know how we're going to die, baby. We're going to crash and burn.
Fight for survival was savage. As one by one they became terrifying, bloodthirsty werewolves on wheels. Rated R from the Fanfare Corporation.
But Legend of the Wolf Woman didn't try for much at all. It did, however, feature an actress by the name of Felicity Fanny. Joe Dante's film, The Howling, rode the line between comedy and horror. Director John Landis also combined humor and horror, and teasingly left his monster out of the coming attraction. As human beings, we ignore the beast that lurks within all of us. We deny that we're part of the animal kingdom, deny that lower self, that instinctive nature. But it is there, waiting to be set free, whether that change is triggered by stress, or drugs, or the rays of the full moon.